Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casty. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have an HCS post show where today we're going to be breaking down everything that happened during the Open Series 2K, both on Sunday and Thursday. We talked about there being plenty, and I mean plenty of upsets, and let me tell you, there was. We're going to start in the winners bracket all the way down to round 4, because that's really when things started to shake up. Forget about going all the way to round 8. We're going to start all the way here at round number 4, where FaZe did beat Mags up 3-0. I don't think anybody was really surprised by that. In case you need a reminder, or if you're sleeping under a rock, you have FaZe, Snakebite, Renegade, Frosty, and Royal 2, while Mags up being Kratos, Ace, Diagram, and Avenue. They made it pretty far in the tournament, make it to round 4 through the winners bracket, because this tournament was really tough. I'm a fan of Mags Up. I really liked them when they were combined with Command Station and Miss Laycar. I thought that was huge for the scene. They were going under Team Meta at that point in time. Now bringing in the twins of the triplets, Diagram, Avenue, and Suppressed is obviously on Complexity. Still a fan of this roster. Love what they can do. Love their potential. I just think FaZe are obviously on another level. They pull off the 3-0. After that, you have Complexity 3-0ing Team Meta Elite. This was a big one. I feel like Team Meta Elite, you just dropped Swish, you're bringing Bohm. I feel like you want to, hit the ground running and go against the very Team Complexity, who not only dropped Septify not too long ago, but on top of that, they 3-0'd you in pool play back at Charlotte. I feel like this is your time to get revenge. And it didn't come. Complexity, Jazero, Suppressed, Tusk, and Cycle. 3-1ing that same Team Meta Elite against Super CC, Boom, Quarterly, and Septify, knocking them into the elimination bracket. But I mean, Team Meta Elite, they're one of the top teams, right? I looked at, just last week, Team Meta got top 8. And they made a change, hopefully for the better. So we assume they're going to still make it to Thursday. That's so we thought. We'll find out more about that later. Native Hot going up against Need and Org. Native White are fun. They are exciting to watch. They are damn good. I feel like Native White are becoming like the people's champ. I like, honestly, I feel like Native White are becoming like the people. Like, it's so easy to root for them. If you're not a Native White fan, I don't mess with you. Like, I'm sorry. If you don't like Native White, I can't even talk to you. We can't even associate with each other. Native White, McWin, the former member 343, one of the most exciting sniping players in the history of Halo. Barcode, that #1 player coming from A&Z, was formerly on G2 with Gilkey, now coming over to Native White here with McWin, and coming over with his old teammate and old duo in Gilkey. And then Tapping Buttons, the #1 player from Latin America. You take 2 of the top international players, bring them over to your team, and of course you're going to find success even against the likes of Need and Org. Piggy, King J, Joey Cherished, and Straight 6. Love these guys. Native White, they've been proven that they proved that top 4 finish in Charlotte was not a fluke. They're the real deal. What the hell happened here? What the hell happened here? I told you the upset started early. Even in round 4, Cloud9, who were able to finish out top 4 last week, but that was with Monster filling in instead of Nemesis. Nemesis right back into the starting lineup, and they go right at Native Red, who literally just finished winning the 2K just last week. Your reigning champions going down in round number 4, Cloud9 sending them down to the elimination bracket in a 3-2 game 5. What a series that must have been. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get the chance to catch it, but wow. Nemesis, Triton, Squale, and Rami, they've been putting in the work. They have tons of talent, tons of potential, even against Native Red, Druk, Taulik, Manny, and Soul Snipe. Good win for Cloud9, honestly. A big win for them. Space Station Gaming against Mickey, that former Cloud9 roster, Eco, Penguin, Stellar, and Bound. Mickey have been like on the cusp of making it to Thursdays. I feel like last week they did really well. Same with like Matrix as well. They did, Matrix and Mickey did really well last week, and I feel like with some practice they can make it to a top 12, especially if teams like Optic and others aren't going to sign up. That gives an opportunity for some of these other teams to kind of sneak in. Sadly, Mickey ran into SSG, and you know what happens when you run into SSG. M305 Grand, Kylie mother effing Jenner, or which I found out is a Yaxin. That's just his face and name. And NSG Serial 3-0 in favor of Space Station Gaming. No real surprise there. I'm surprised Posey didn't want to get out of bed for this show. I'm surprised because Proton Gaming bringing in Monster to replace the retired Haynes. Not sure if that's a permanent move. Maybe they're testing the waters, but obviously something's working out well for them because they're able to 3-1 Sentinels. I will say that Sentinels, Alito has been tweeting out left and right that his game has not been working the way it's supposed to, whether it's a PC issue or the game just not meshing well. Something is just not clicking for him, but not taking anything away from Proton Gaming. This was a big win. 3-1 over Sentinels. You know, arguably a top 8 team in the league. Proton Gaming looked like they showed, hey, look, we weren't just lucky at Charlotte in top 12. We have bigger aspirations ahead of us that we're trying to get into that top 8 conversation. We're trying to get into that top 6 conversation. And if you're able to beat out teams like Sentinels, you're going to put yourself quickly within that conversation. G1 over Matrix. Again, I feel like Matrix and Mickey are on the cusp of making it to a top 12. It's just unfortunate when they run into some of the big dogs. You know, the question then becomes like, are you prepared for it? You know, and do you have that firepower? Do you have that preparation? Do you have that coordination when it comes to running to the big dogs like G1? Matrix were able to take a game off of 3-1, which I think is great. Invicted, Red, Bepix, and Glitchy. But of course, G1 with the 3-1 win. Boo Boo Doo the last remaining member from that G1 roster back in season 1, Falcated, one of the more underrated players in the scene. Sabinator, so fast, high damage dealer, and Suspector, who I think his playstyle complements Sabinator, formerly of E United, alongside Ryan Noob and Rain of the boys. 3-1 in favor of G1. And I think G1, what did G1 get? Like second place last week, I want to say? Yeah, G1 got second place last week. So I would say expectations fairly high for G1 going into this tournament. And it was Rebellion who 3-2 Avengers. Can't really say I'm too surprised there. I feel like Avengers are really good. I just think really highly of Rebellion. I feel like this was a good matchup, and probably going to Game 5 is accurate, and it being a toss-up as it was is totally accurate. But eventually it's Rebellion to come out with the win. And like I said, I'm not surprised. I don't think you guys should be too. I think if these guys matched up like 10 times, I feel like they split the difference. Rebellion would win 5, Avengers would win 5, simple as that. Rebellion, Ryan, Rain, Carbea, who we did the behind the screen with, and Mental, formerly of Gears of War, and Avengers, you have Huss, Precision, Swish, and Ironical. Now, when Avengers go into the lower bracket, that's when things get crazy, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Phase 3 over Complexity, no real surprise. I think we're big on Complexity. I think Complexity have the capability of beating out a lot of teams. Not sure if FaZe are one of them. Just be honest. I think they have to really catch FaZe slipping. But we'll see. You know, nothing against Complexity at all. FaZe 3-0, no surprise. Native White 3-2 over Cloud9. That was a big win by them. Cloud9 did finish out top 4 last week, but Native White showing that they can beat them out in a Game 5. I'm sure that one was close. Space Station Gaming 3-0 over Proton Gaming. We're big on Proton. We're even bigger on SSG. And then G1 3-1 over Rebellion. the ultimate offense versus the ultimate defense, and offense wins apparently. G1 move forward, and then eventually we get to what was our this was our Thursday matches when it started, and right off the rip, there's a reason why we calling this title Upset City. Native White sending the #1 seeded FaZe Clan to the elimination bracket before making it to the winners finals, guaranteeing themselves a top 3 placing in the tournament no matter what happened. Native White with the Game 5 win over FaZe. I'm not lying, guys. I'm not lying. You're lying. Shut up. Look what's right there. It's right in front of your eyes. Open your eyes. Upset City. SSG with the 3-1 over G1. G1 may have been able to sweep them last week, but SSG gonna answer right back with the 3-1 on G1, getting themselves into the winners finals. And we all know what happens when SSG run into Native White in a matchup in tournament, right? We all know what happens. It's supposed to be, the script says it's supposed to be a 3-0 like it was in Charlotte, right? When SSG run into Native White, we know it's a bad matchup for them. We know that there's no chance that Native White can beat out SSG. There's no chance that Native White can beat out SSG. There's no chance. Native White 3-1ing SSG in the winners bracket final, sending SSG to the elimination bracket and making it to the point where Native can possibly go back-to-back in tournament, guaranteeing themselves a top 2 placing right off the rip, making themselves to the grand finals by beating out Space Station Gaming, the very team that swept them back in Charlotte. I told you guys, it's so easy to root for Native White. They are damn good. They are damn entertaining. Native White stamped their ticket into the grand finals. Everyone else had to fight their way through the elimination bracket, which, by the way, that's not where Upset City ended. That's not where Upset City ended. Sentinels 3-0 Mickey to make it into Thursday's matchup. Avengers 3-0 lies to make it into Thursday's matchup. Again, no real surprises there. Going Rogue upset Team Meta Elite. The number 22 seeded Going Rogue beat out the number 9 seeded Team Meta Elite. Swish was talking his junk that day. Native Red 3-1 over Neednorg to make it into Thursday's matchup. When Thursday started, it was Sentinels that 3-1 Complexity. We've seen Sentinels Complexity matchup time and time again. Sentinels seeming to get the best of them every time. It's a hard matchup for Complexity. Complexity get taken out of the tournament. Avengers then went on one of the most miraculous runs that we've seen, including a 3-0 over Cloud9. Mind you, again, Cloud9 got 4th place literally just last week. The Avengers just implementing Swish here. No longer having Monster on the squad, having Huss and Swish come in, and they're still able to 3-0 Cloud9, but that's not where it ends. Proton Gaming with the 3-1 over Going Rogue. I think that was a very close matchup. I really like Proton Gaming. I had them winning it out, but I'm also rooting for Going Rogue. They were a big underdog to making it to Thursday. Sadly, the Thursday ended a little bit sooner than expected. And then Native Red with the 3-0 over Shopify Rebellion. Rebellion are good, but I feel like Rebellion and Native Red are kind of similar in the fact they have a large range. I feel like they can lose to a lot of different teams. They can also beat a lot of teams. 2 very dangerous rosters. I think in this matchup, if they match up, say, 10 times, I would say Native Red will win 80%. I would say Native Red win 8 out of 10 times. I like their squad a lot. I like their gameplay, and especially against the matchup against Rebellion. The Avengers then go from sweeping Cloud9 to sweeping Sentinels, the team led by Lethal and Spartan. Former roommates of Swish, by the way. Big win for Avengers. And then after this 3-0 win, I'm thinking, if anything happens with Avengers, like, I would go out in like top 6 at this point. Like, if they would have lost their next matchup, I wouldn't have been upset. Like, I'm over here like, good for them making it this far, and good for them like just fighting it out and even beating the likes of Sentinels and Cloud9. But if y'all watched yesterday, y'all know their journey did not end. Their journey was incredible We'll talk about that soon. Proton Gaming with another upset. Again, it's upset city. Proton Gaming 3-1ing Native Red. I said Native Red are dangerous. They can beat out almost any team in the league, but they could also lose to a lot of teams as well. We know the history between Native Red and Monster. They are not fans whatsoever. But you ain't got to be fans to get that work, I guess. Proton Gaming 3-1 over Native Red. The same team that won just last week in the 2K weren't able to make it into that, I think maybe top 6, top 4. Another upset coming in. This time, Proton Gaming handing L's. Oh, I forgot there's an error here. Sorry. There we go. You know what? We'll keep it back here, actually. I don't want to spoil it. Oh. I can firmly say that if anybody predicted this bracket exactly the way it happened, I think I think you're a damn fortune teller. Because there ain't no way that you had Avengers coming out the mud, taking down Cloud9, Sentinels, and G1 in a 3-1. G1, the team that got second place just last week. We know that we are big on G1. Swish, by the way, was on that G1 roster literally just last year and was left off that roster to bring out Falcon and Sabrina Spectre. Swish, the very player that was dropped from that Team Meta Elite roster, and having to scramble just to join this Avengers roster with no practice, I would assume, or at least very little practice. The Avengers beating out Gamers First? No shot. Huss, Precision, Swish, and Ironical pull off another upset. And you would think, oh my gosh, if their tournament journey ended right now, that'd be crazy. We'll see if it does. FaZe 3-1 over Proton Gaming. We were talking about upsets after upsets after upsets. Proton were able to upset Native Red. Couldn't do the same to FaZe Clan. So it's FaZe Clan versus Avengers. I mean, there's no way that the Avengers beat FaZe Clan. I mean, come on now. We talk about FaZe Clan, what the #1 team going in. This, there was people in the audience and in Twitch chat saying that FaZe would have dropped a tournament all year long. There was people that were calling the God Squad right off the bat. There's no way that Avengers beat out FaZe. There's no way that Avengers beat out FaZe. There's no way. Avengers 3-1 over FaZe. And in a tournament that had 40% upsets on Championship Thursday, which by the way was the largest amount of upsets that we have seen in probably HCS's history. 40% of the matches ended in upsets, and in a tournament that was filled with them. This right here might have taken the #1 spot. #1 over them beating G1. #1 over Native White beating out SSG. #1 over Proton Gaming winning Native Red. This is what told me that the teams that are putting in the work are doing it for a reason. And I'm not gonna put everything on an online tournament. Obviously what really matters is when we transition to LAN, but this just creates more storylines and makes things a lot more exciting. I can't wait for next LAN. I can't wait for next tournament. I really can't. And I hope at this point the Avengers continue to grind, find themselves an org, you know, put in the work and get better. I'm sure after this tournament today, we're going to see those top teams scrimming again. I'm sure we're going to see the optics scrimming. I'm sure we're going to see the phases scrimming. I think break time's over. With the quadrant event literally about a month away, I think now it's time to get back in the lab and get back into fighting shape. You know, I talked about it before. You know, as a basketball player, you had some players like myself that got ready through training camp, that got ready through boot camp. But you also have some players that stay ready. And the ones that were hungry and stayed ready are looking amazing. The Native Whites, the Avengers, the Proton Gamers, the ones that have been putting in the work are the ones who look good right now. Avengers 3-1. And after that miraculous run from Cloud9 to Sentinels to G1 into FaZe, it almost felt like the Avengers might have ran out of gas. They did take a game off of SSG, but SSG did take them out. Did take them out in that losers bracket finals and did stamp their ticket in the grand finals. Native White, the rematch against Space Station Gaming. Space Station Gaming, the very team that 3-0'd them at Charlotte, but Native White sent them down to elimination bracket. They only have to win one series, while Space Station Gaming would have to reset the bracket and then win another best of 5 series. Not easy after a long day, right? You know, SSG might be the favorites, but to have to win two best of 5 series against Native White, the very team that beat you after a long day, like Thursday. We're talking this match lasted over to midnight, past midnight, at least on the East Coast. SSG beating out Native White in the first best of 5 series, going all the way to a game 5. Then afterwards, in game 4, ended it in a 3-1 against Native White to get their revenge against the team that sent them into that elimination bracket and become your 2K Open Series champions. Upset City crumbles as SSG come back and take yet another tournament. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. As far as online tournaments go, I don't care what the stakes are, whether it's a 4K, whether there's, you know, $20,000 on the line, no matter what the money is, no matter what the stake. If you watch this event, you know. If you know, you know. This was one of the best online tournaments in Halo Infinite. It was so fun. You know, from the cast to the chat to the players, we were all baffled. We had pro players in the chat like, what was going on? Like, look, forget us as casters, us as audience. We had pro players in the chat, literally like, what is going on this event? Nobody had a clue. But man, was it a good one. It really was. And all it does is just set the tone. I mean, today we have pool play for the JJ Events tournament. You know, tomorrow I think we have the actual finals of that tournament. Sunday starts an open series again, and then right after that, you know, Thursday we'll finish it out. There's more. There's more Halo to come, more 4v4 Halo, and I really am excited. Hopefully we see another Upset City next week or maybe even this weekend. But that's your HCS post show. Thank you so much for watching on the YouTube. If you're watching on the live Twitch, we're about to do a live Q&A. If anyone wants to jump in and ask questions, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions with this tournament. If you guys want to catch the live show, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Every single morning we do these videos live before we put it onto YouTube. And then after we do a pre and post shows, we're going to start doing a live Q&A where you can hop in a Discord voice call and ask me live questions, put me on the spot. Thank you so much for stopping by the video. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream.